Hi, my name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3, where we read, "Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established." I think we see a commentary on this in some respects in Psalm 37, verse 5, where David writes, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil desires." Commit your work or your way. Commit. That's a word we don't hear much anymore, see much anymore, it seems like. You ever met anyone that was sort of committed, kind of on board, or sort of right there in that safe and easy middle ground of everything? Committed to nothing, for sure. Sold out to nothing. Just hanging around when things are easy, nowhere to be found when things get hard. The word commit means to roll over. It means to be established. I think it would be safe to say that our works refer to not just our job per se, but our actions, all our actions, the things that we do on a daily basis. Commit your way to the Lord. Proverbs 16:3, commit your works to the Lord. Everything that we do, to carry out our works, to entrust our works to the Lord. And I think a simple way of looking at this would be to say, be committed to doing whatever you do to the glory of God. Before I act, it's my motivation to glorify God. Can God be glorified through this action or activity? If the answer is yes, then how can I glorify God in and through this activity? The next part of that verse says, "And then your plans will be established." But other translations say, "And your thoughts will be established." And either way, I think we can see the same thing, because our plans flow out of our thoughts. When we are committed to doing our work to the Lord or for the Lord, doing whatever we do for God and His glory, when this is our motivation, that commitment will shape and guide our thoughts and consequently shape and guide our plans. And we often quote James 1:5. It says, if you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. But he goes on to say, if we're unsure, if we're double-minded, if we're just curious about what the wise thing to do is, but not committed to doing it, that person will receive nothing from the Lord. When we are confused, sometimes it's not that we don't know what to do, but we are not sure about the what if. What will happen if I do such and such a thing? God's word says this, but people might laugh at me or reject me or think I'm strange or out of date if I do it. I mean, everybody else is doing something different. So we're up in the air. We're torn between two different ideas, two different ways we should go. But the problem isn't that you don't know what to do or the right thing to do. The problem is you're not sure if you want to do it or not. Which means simply that you're not committed to the Lord. Your way is not committed to Him. You're looking at everyone else. You're hung up between two opposing thoughts. But when we go through life and we commit our work and our way to the Lord, when it is our desire that God be glorified, as Paul said, for me to live as Christ and to die as gain. Elsewhere we read, the things that have happened to me have turned out for the furtherance of the gospel. Why was that? Because he committed his work to the Lord. His motivation was that no matter what happened, how can God be glorified through this and in this? And we have that clarity of purpose. We have clarity of thought. We say with Paul, one thing I do. We say with David, one thing I have desired, and that I may dwell in the house of the Lord forever and gaze upon the beauty of the Lord. The verse before we looked at in Psalm 37:5, verse 4 says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." So think about that. Verse 4, delight yourself. Verse 5, commit yourself and trust in Him. And He will give you the desires of your heart. I think that's sort of going along with what it says in Proverbs 16:3, your thoughts or your plans will be established. They'll be ready. They'll be stable. They'll be right. Because once we commit our work and our way to the Lord, our plans and our thoughts will be established, firm and prepared. The desires that come into our lives will be from God. He will give us godly desires. And the path will often become clearer when our motivations are simplified, that God be glorified. And that is a God-given desire. 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, whatever we do, whatever you eat or drink, whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. So could I put that together with our verse for today in Psalm 16:3? Commit your works, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do to the Lord, do all to the glory of God. And your plans, your thoughts will be established, stable, firm, secure, and guided. And that's God's promise to every one of us. So may this truth guide us and guard us in the trenches of life as we seek to live for the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.